Economic development in this city is extremely strange. It's based on subsidies for real estate speculation for millionaires, and the World Bank points out that never helps, and it actually creates unaffordable housing in the rest of the city when we keep giving our money for that. And to compound it, we use it to foster the medical industrial complex. And the medical, if you use the medical, a new study out of Harvard, if you use the medical industrial complex as your engine of economic growth, healthcare becomes completely unaffordable.
Do you have a specific question on this?
Yes. How are you going to change our approach to economic development so that we're no longer giving money to millionaires?
All right, Mark, a theme you were just touching on, I believe, so you can start to answer.
I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said there. I mean, the evidence, I think, is pretty clear, not just in Providence, but in general, that cities are not going to lift themselves up through just the right combination of tax giveaways. That doesn't mean there aren't individual deals sometimes that make a certain kind of sense. If there are clawback provisions in it that make sure that they provide the jobs they promise they're going to provide, or they kick money into an affordable housing trust fund, or they do some sort of ecologically sustainable development or something like that. But as a general rule, I'm a deep skeptic of those kinds of subsidies for the reasons that you said. I think it's sort of like eating our seed corn. I mean, it basically kind of depletes the money that we need to invest in our own institutions for the people and the businesses that are here, as opposed to the ones we're trying to lure here. I don't want to be the person as a university professor who's vilifying universities and hospitals because they're not villains by any means. It just happens to be the arrangement that those institutions have had in this city and many other cities. I believe that they are assets, but there are ways that take place in other cities that are able to use those anchor institutions to try and build wealth locally. And Cleveland, which is not the example one normally picks of really good urban policy, but in the case of Cleveland, their hospitals have made a committed effort, for example, to hire locally, to train local young people to work there, to provide seed money for worker cooperatives, to provide services and supplies to the hospitals. So to try and build wealth in the community, they also invest in local nonprofits and public parks and things like that. So I think there are ways of doing a kind of development that is, for me, we should have a preferential option for that which is local, sustainable, and ecologically sound and pays a living wage.
All right, Dan Chica, on the same question, dividing economic development away from millionaires.
I'm not sure that was what the question was. I think it really dealt with economic development and how you would spread it throughout the community. And I do believe that the economic development focus is top-heavy. However, I'm not opposed to giving money to millionaires. Millionaires drive large investments and large projects. However, the monies that are earmarked from the public funds need to be made more accessible to small businesses and to small development projects. We have a lot of businesses that run up and down North Main Street that could use the same type of investments that we are pouring into downtown Providence, and we are pouring into the state lands that have been taken as a result of the I-95 relocation. And a lot of those deals are absolutely horrible. There are no teeth to those deals. There are no enforcement for what was supposed to be the creation of jobs. And it is important that when this money is given out, that we hold people to the standards when they borrowed this money, what they were going to do with it. To not invest in the development of those large tracts of land deprive us of long-term growth, long-term development, and jobs for our children and for the rest of us. Thank you.
Deirdre, to you on the question of economic development.
Well, as someone from a working class family, I think it's really important that we're not incentivizing the wealthy or subsidies for the wealthy, pardon. I think it's really important that hospitals, nonprofits, major corporations, developers, that we do have opportunities for the community. So some of the things that are being done in other cities, like for example in Philadelphia, one of the things that the university does is that they have programs to provide people who work, employers, or employees, who work for the university, and some of them are just working class folks, to be able to purchase homes in the community. So now, not only are you giving those individuals opportunities, like a job, but you're giving them opportunities to reinvest in the community and purchase a home and stay within that city. And so I think there are ways that we can ensure that we can come up with ideas to really make sure that the wealth is not at the top, but that it's shared throughout. And we need to change that in our system, in our community, and also just in our society in general.
David, your view on the question of economic development?
I actually agree with all these fine candidates here tonight. I don't believe that we should be pumping taxpayers' money towards the wealthy to build these big condos that they're just going to turn around and make a profit off. I'd rather see the money go back towards our community, towards people in this audience here that might want to start a business right on North Main Street. Because right now it's difficult to get any kind of money, and right now we're just giving it all to the rich, because that's all politicians focus on, because they just see maybe there's going to be a dollar sign. And it does have to come with, are you going to create jobs? Are those jobs going to stay in Providence? Because we do need to bring people back into Providence and have more affordable housing, because they need to be able to afford it. And I want people to understand that it's not just about giving money away to the wealthy. We need to actually focus on the people that are actually going to be working for the wealthy, because in the end, if it wasn't for people in this audience, those wealthy people wouldn't even have a shot of even building anything downtown Providence and taking up land and not paying their fair share of taxes.